C'est parfois bon de prendre la route, de partir, découvrir de nouvelles cultures, rencontrer des nouvelles personnes. C'est aussi en voyageant qu'on réalise certains phénomènes. Et c'est justement ce qui nous est arrivé. Partout dans le monde, les citoyens se battent contre des grands projets dévastateurs qui menacent leurs maisons, leurs villages, voire leur pays. Ils ont en commun d'avoir une zone à défendre, une ZAD, comme celle de Notre-Dame-des-Landes en France par exemple. Cette cause commune nous a interpellés. On a voulu découvrir quelques-unes de ces ZAD. À bord de notre cher camion, Palinkuska, nous avons pris la route des zones à défendre.
La Roumanie, c'est là que débute notre épopée. Nous arrivons à Rosia Montana. Ce petit village transylvanien qui vivait autrefois de l'extraction d'or a bien failli se faire engloutir par ses propres mines. Le dernier projet d'exploitation en date aurait détruit les 3/4 du village. Si le pays est sorti du communisme il y a plus de 25 ans, le capitalisme n'a rien arrangé à la pauvreté ni à la corruption politique. Heureusement, une mobilisation citoyenne sans précédent a mis fin au projet. Retour en mai 2014, quand tout n'était pas encore gagné.
Ce se va întâmpla e un lucru foarte simplu care nu se întâmplă doar la Rosia Montana, în cazul unui asemenea proiect. Da? Se distrug munții, se distrug pesajele, se distruge, uite, de exemplu, noi avem în față aici masivul Cârnic, imediat aici în dreapta avem masivul Cetate, în stânga aici nu se vede masivul Orlea, deci avem 4 masive care vor dispărea, da? Vor fi distruse. Dacă ne uităm, ați și nimerit într-o perioadă frumoasă în care în jurul nostru totul e verde, da? Deci nu vom mai vedea verde, vom vedea alte culori neconvenționale.
Le paysan et Eugène David se bat depuis 10 ans contre la compagnie qui veut détruire son village. Tout commence en 2000. La multinationale canadienne Gabriel Resources s'implante à Rosia Montana et crée une filiale roumaine, la Rosia Montana Gold Corporation, dite RMGC. L'entreprise se donne pour objectif de reprendre en main l'activité minière de la localité, mais aucune limite n'est posée. En 2006, la concentration des métaux précieux dans la roche commence à s'épuiser. Le gouvernement décide alors la fermeture de la mine, mais RMGC, elle, refuse d'abandonner. La filiale affirme à l'époque qu'il est toujours possible d'extraire 1600 tonnes d'argent et 300 tonnes d'or à Rosia Montana. Pour cela, il faut simplement construire la mine d'or à ciel ouvert, la plus grande d'Europe, et avoir recours à un usage massif de cyanure. Voici maintenant les images de Jamana, un petit village juste à côté de Rosia Montana. En 1978, les habitants ont dû partir pour faire place à un lac artificiel où reposent aujourd'hui les déchets d'une mine de cuivre. Ce toit d'église est tout ce qu'il reste. Les autres habitations ont été englouties par les boues toxiques. C'est à peu près le même sort qui aurait été réservé à Rosia Montana. 8000 hectares de chantiers miniers et un lac artificiel de 8 km² pour 250 millions de tonnes de déchets cyanurés. En plus de détruire les 3/4 du village, la compagnie aurait dû exproprier plus de 1000 familles, dont celle d'Eugène.
A fost o comunitate mare de aproape 1000 de familii, nu va mai exista niciuna. Pe lângă distrugerea munților vom mai avea imediat aici după muntele ăsta o vale, Valea Cornei, în care vom avea acel iaz de decantare cu 250 milioane de deșeuri cu cianuri. Deci, din punct de vedere apocaliptic, ar fi ok. Din punct de vedere uman, nu.
Et Eugen n'est bien sûr pas le seul dans le village à lutter contre la nouvelle mine d'or. Depuis l'annonce du projet, des habitants s'organisent et des militants viennent à Rosia pour les soutenir. Il est cependant difficile de lutter contre Gabriel Resources. Cette multinationale cotée en bourse de Toronto a lancé une vaste campagne de communication.
Aurul a fost dintotdeauna destinul Rosiei Montane. După 2000 de ani de minerit continuu, Rosia Montana e încă bogată în aur și argint. Acest zăcământ dă României șansa de a deveni cel mai important producător de aur al Uniunii Europene. Acum și satul și locuitorii din Rosia Montana așteaptă. Nu așteaptă un miracol, așteaptă doar o viață mai bună prin minerit. Odată cu mineritul modern, Rosia Montana crește și se transformă într-o localitate prosperă, mândră de trecutul său. Rosia Montana privește cu încredere spre viitor și e pregătită să primească turiști din întreaga lume. Rosia Montana are nevoie de locurile de muncă și de prosperitatea aduse de minerit. Proiectul minier de la Rosia Montana este un proiect pentru România. Rosia Montana are nevoie de un viitor construit pe tradiția minieră. Un viitor care începe azi.
En plus de promettre de nombreux emplois, la compagnie restaure les bâtiments qui ne seront pas détruits par la nouvelle mine et assure la relance du tourisme dans le village. Elle a également acheté la municipalité qui a pu, avec l'argent, construire une nouvelle mairie flambant neuve. Et pour faire partir les résidents qui, eux, se trouvent dans la zone à détruire, elle rachète leur maison et les reloge à ses frais dans un quartier résidentiel à Alba Iulia, une petite ville située à 80 km de Rosia Montana. Les habitants refusent d'être filmés ou enregistrés pour la simple et bonne raison que la compagnie leur a fait signer une clause leur interdisant de parler aux journalistes sans son accord. Mais nous avons quand même pu discuter. Si certains sont satisfaits de leur situation, d'autres regrettent leur déménagement, loin de la vie montagnarde. On nous a même confié que la compagnie n'avait pas dédommagé certains habitants autant qu'elle l'avait promis. Malgré notre insistance, la compagnie a refusé de répondre à nos questions. Sorin Jurka est un autre habitant, pilier de la lutte contre le projet minier. Il tente de faire de Rosia Montana un lieu touristique reconnu en Roumanie. Avec ses vestiges romains, ses anciennes galeries, ses montagnes et un climat de tranquillité constante, le village a bien plus à proposer que le chantier de la nouvelle mine. Pour Sorin, les propos de la compagnie sont démagogiques. Impossible de développer le tourisme dans une ville déserte et à côté d'un lac de cyanure.
A distrus viața în Rosia Montana. Proiectul ăsta, de când a venit aici, a schimbat destinele oamenilor, a schimbat mintea oamenilor, a făcut din oameni monștri, din oameni a făcut, să zic așa, cerșetori, sclavi. Sunt cuvinte dure pe care trebuie să le folosesc pentru că asta e opinia mea.
L'opinion de Sorin n'est évidemment pas partagée par tous. De nombreux habitants ont perdu leur emploi depuis la fermeture des anciennes mines en 2006. L'arrivée de la compagnie fut donc une bénédiction pour ces chômeurs. Elle est perçue comme la seule solution dans cette localité où l'extraction minière a toujours été l'activité principale. Ces divergences d'opinion sur l'avenir de Rosia Montana suscitent de très fortes tensions.
S-a rupt totul. Chiar povesteam, mă întreba cineva care a fost, m-a văzut așa, mai sta cu mine, zicea de ce nu vorbiți cu localnicii care sunt prietenii noastre, unde sunt. Treceți pe stradă, nu vă salută nimeni sau nu discutați cu nimeni. Deși eu vă văd că sunteți un om agreabil, iubiți oamenii, sunteți deschis. Și am spus, da, asta este rodul muncii companiei. Compania a lucrat la acest lucru și a reușit. Din păcate eu nu sunt disperat și din păcate nu sunt speriat. Din păcate pentru ei. Chiar sunt fericit pentru că am o statură, adică ăsta sunt, așa cred și nimeni nu mă poate influența și nimeni nu poate să mă schimbe. Așa cred eu. Compania a încercat să omoare acest loc, însă nu a reușit. Sunt oameni care nu vor să moară, sunt oameni care vor să lupte, sunt oameni care vor să învingă această companie. Și cred că vor reuși.
Mais la compagnie minière n'a pas réussi. Voilà bientôt 10 ans qu'elle veut construire cette mine d'or et le chantier n'a jamais vu le jour. Fin juin 2015, Gabriel Resources a même affirmé qu'elle abandonnait le projet. Elle n'a pour autant toujours pas quitté les lieux et possède la moitié des terrains du village. De plus, elle demande à présent 4 milliards de dollars de réparation à l'État. Il faut dire que la tâche était difficile. Les opposants à la mine d'or sont très nombreux. Le combat pour sauver Rosia Montana a largement dépassé les frontières du village. C'est en fait à travers toute la Roumanie que des milliers de citoyens se sont sentis concernés. Allons donc faire un tour dans les grandes villes pour se rendre compte de l'ampleur de cette mobilisation. «
125 km à travers les monts Apuseni et nous voici à Cluj-Napoca, la troisième ville du pays. 325 000 habitants, partagés entre les communautés roumaines, roms, hongroises, allemandes, sans compter les milliers d'étrangers qui y résident également. L'ancienne capitale de la Transylvanie est vraiment une ville qui bouge, une ville jeune, étudiante, avec une offre culturelle abondante. C'est dans cet environnement que la mobilisation pour Rosia Montana a pris toute son ampleur. Cluj est vraiment le point de départ de ce qu'on a ensuite appelé l'automne roumain. En septembre 2013, ils étaient des milliers à se réunir tous les dimanches sur Piazza Unirii, la principale place de la ville. Le gouvernement avait vraiment dépassé les limites. Il était à deux doigts de modifier la Constitution et le droit de propriété privée. La loi qu'il avait rédigée aurait permis à la compagnie d'exproprier les habitants de Rosia Montana. La géante canadienne se serait donc très vite débarrassée des derniers résistants qui n'avaient toujours pas accepté de vendre. Mais suite à la pression de la rue, la loi n'a pas été votée.
Pour revenir sur cet épisode, nous rencontrons l'ONG appelée Alburnus Major, nom latin de Rosia Montana, dont Eugen David est le président. Basée à la fois à Cluj et à Rosia Montana, l'association organise la campagne contre la compagnie minière et défend les intérêts des 300 familles qui devaient déménager pour faire place à la mine.
What happened during the autumn when thousands and thousands of Romanians came to the street, and not only from Romania but also from abroad, it proved that people really understand and care about Rosia Montana, and they understand the implications like social, economical and environmental implication of such a destructive project for our country. And it is amazing that in Romania country that doesn't have a protest culture, so many people came to the streets and they were very firm and coming each weekend for months again and again.
Și asta, deci noi 14 ani de zile, ca să înțelegi mai bine, știi, 14 ani de zile noi am transmis mesajul campaniei, proiectul nu se va realiza dacă oamenii nu vor pleca. Probabil în opinia publică s-a creat acea senzație, sunt oameni în Rosia Montana care nu vor să vândă și să plece, proiectul nu se realizează. Și atunci nu era un pericol. În momentul când am venit cu legea exproprierii forțate, a zis, acum și oamenii în Rosia care nu o să plece vor fi luați cu forța și proiectul se poate realiza. Deci a fost o schimbare de situație, știi? Oamenii până în septembrie știau că doar proiectul Rosia Montana nu trebuie să se realizeze și niciodată clasa politică nu a făcut un pas așa agresiv și direct pentru implementarea proiectului. Și în septembrie a făcut acest pas și atunci oamenii și-au dat seama că e chiar o problemă foarte serioasă și guvernul de înapoi. Până atunci toată clasa politică oscila. Mai dădea o declarație pro, mai contra, mai... știi? Deci nu a fost ceva concret. Și în septembrie a fost un caz concret, specific, în care s-a spus, no, dacă trece acest pas, proiectul se va realiza. Și atunci cred că asta a fost reacția oamenilor, i-au ăștia în stradă. Oamenii nu ies în stradă atunci când nu simt o problemă concretă și foarte clară și pericol iminent. Asta e cum am văzut eu, iar restul ar trebui să întrebe pe fiecare om. Știi, și aici în stradă, sutele de mii. Ce l-a determinat să iasă atunci în septembrie, știi?
People really felt that now is the right moment to come to the streets and say what they think.
I think it's an awakening of a generation. They realize that Romanians should take our faith in their hands, and it's a generation, I don't know, around 30-40 years old, that they suddenly realize that we have to do something if we want this country to be livable.
Deci mă simt ca un om care mi-am găsit familia mare din lumea asta întreagă, o familie care îi place natura, o familie care nu vrea ca lumea să fie distrusă și o familie care pune valorile adevărate mai presus de cele economice. Deci, într-un fel, mă simt într-o mare familie și nu sunt singur.
Le combat pour sauver Rosia Montana attire les visiteurs dans le village. Des militants, bien sûr, mais aussi des touristes, des étrangers. Ils veulent voir de leurs propres yeux cet endroit, dont ils entendent parler un peu partout. Ils veulent rencontrer les gens du village, ceux qui luttent sur le terrain, au quotidien. Sorin, Jen et d'autres habitants les hébergent avec plaisir. Ils organisent des visites du village, accueillent des forums militants. Et un festival solidaire, le Fun Fest, se tient même tous les étés.
Este ceea ce lipsește Roșii Montane, lipsește viața. Asta e foarte important. Că în Roșia Montană să existe oameni. Ori compania asta nu și-a dorit. Oamenii companiei, de ce intimidează oamenii care vin? Ca să nu fie nimeni aici, să fie doar ei. Ei să fie cei care domină acest teritoriu. Asta e dorința lor. Pentru noi e ceva impresionant, pentru noi este ceva plăcut, este ceva ce ne bucură foarte mult. Cum să fie bizar? Locul ăsta trebuie să fie viu. E destulă suprafață, să zic așa, în Roșia Montană, care pare moartă. Sunt locuri în care nu mai sunt oameni, în care nu mai trăiește nimeni. Deci agitația e foarte bună aici și locul ăsta e viu prin acești oameni care vin. Și chiar noi considerăm activiștii, considerăm prietenii noștri.
Une famille nombreuse qui a adopté un logo et un slogan pour renforcer son identité. La feuille verte et rouge est aujourd'hui en Roumanie un symbole connu de tous ou presque. Il en est de même pour le slogan Uniți salvăm Rosia Montana, en français Unis sauvons Rosia Montana, qui était scandé dans toutes les manifestations. À Cluj, le petit magasin de l'Orangerie vend de nombreux produits Rosia Montana. Et les recettes sont directement reversées à l'association Alburnus Mayer.
Here we have some materials from Salvați Rosia Montana campaign, Save Rosia Montana. Information about the campaign, what is happening in Rosia Montana, how can people get involved, and ways of approaching the subject, of understanding it, and of taking action. It was a great solidarization of people, and yes, Rosia Montana is a symbol. It's a symbol. It's not about only Rosia Montana, it's about being conscious and getting conscious about things that happened, and to do what you can for a better world.
Et c'est sur ces belles rencontres que nous reprenons la route. Il est temps de filer. Nous allons voir si ce phénomène de prise de conscience citoyenne est bien national, qu'il se retrouve un peu partout en Roumanie. Nous roulons donc jusqu'au cœur du pays et faisons halte à Brașov, une ville réputée pour son architecture colorée, ses remparts, ainsi que pour son emplacement dans la chaîne des Carpates. Comme Cluj, Brașov est une ville moderne, avec de nombreux étudiants et une population assez aisée. Elle héberge aussi ses manifestants, qui sortaient dans la rue tous les dimanches pour tenter de sauver Rosia Montana. C'est d'ailleurs dans ces manifestations que le groupe d'amis avec lequel nous avons rendez-vous s'est constitué. Chacun d'eux a commencé à militer, mais pour des motifs différents. Le projet minier leur paraît à tous aberrant, mais pas sur les mêmes aspects.
Doing the numbers and the ciphers and everything else, I was astonished of the way they are not taking in consideration other things to improve our lifestyle, like to say like this, like the absorption of the funds from the European Union, like this, because we are on only with a rate of absorption, I believe, of 44% or something like this. That it's too less. We are a contributor net to the European Union funds, and these are the money that we can spend, not the money from Rosia Montana. The percentage that they wanted to spend to give to us, to the Romanian government, was only after the renegotiation was 6%. It's too less. to less from 100% only to gain 6%. It's something unbelievable.
I believe that it is a cultural suicide because over there in Rosia Montana, or the way the Romans used to call it, Alburnus Major, you have the oldest historically acknowledged Roman settlement on the territory of this country. That's important because for us as a people, it proves that there has been civilization on this land. It's important for us. It's the birth certificate of the people. Not only this, but you also have a rather accurate depiction of the way people lived in that settlement throughout the years, or throughout the ages actually. You have Dacian mining galleries, Roman mining galleries, medieval mining galleries, and so on to this day, until the modern day mining ventures there. So yes, for me that is the most important aspect of this cause, because you can get the money from a whole lot of other sources, but if you lose the cultural vestiges and if you lose the historical testimonies that that settlement provides, you're not getting that back, ever.
The advertising was the part that caught my attention because, well, before the protest I didn't know so much. I knew that there was a company that was trying to make an investment. That sounds good, right? And then I saw the commercials on TV and I was wondering, why do you need to make an advertise to start a business? Usually this doesn't happen. I mean, it's not natural. And when the protest started, I started also to try to form an opinion about it. The advertise was, look, we only want to work here. We are poor people, we don't have no other job, no other chance. The Rosia Montana Gold Corporation is our only chance. That was the message that was coming from the commercial. And then it was very curious for me this, and I found out that actually Rosia Montana has been declared a mono-industrial zone. So in this way, the people in Rosia Montana were used as a leverage for the company to get what they wanted.
Gabriel are soluția pentru Rosia Montana.
Pour beaucoup de Roumains, les manifestations Rosia Montana dégageaient quelque chose de nouveau. Elles se répétaient vraiment chaque semaine, et pourtant les participants restaient nombreux. Surtout, elles réunissaient des gens très différents. À croire que tout le monde a trouvé sa part d'indignation dans ce projet de mine d'or.
I believe the new thing for Rosia Montana was the fact that we met different kind of people from different areas of the society, with different professions, with different studies, with different interests. I believe it was something new for everybody. It was something that united us. I don't think there was a special, unusual protest. No, it was a special one.
The young people usually came out to protest, but this doesn't mean that the older one do agree with the project.
Okay, but how do they want this way to stop the project? If they don't agree, how do you think they can?
I think they don't have the high hopes that we will succeed. So
They are aware of what's happening and that a certain mining company wants to exploit a certain ore, right? I don't know if they're genuinely concerned with these matters as a whole, but I think it's a definite truth that people have know more about what's going on down there, rather than what they knew before this series of protests. So yeah, in this sense, we have informed a number of people with, I can say, a relatively successful degree of positions.
soir, dans ce bar branché de Brasov, c'est Luna Amara qui met l'ambiance. Ce groupe de rock local est assez apprécié en Transylvanie. Minea, le chanteur, guitariste, trompettiste, est aussi un activiste politique, engagé dans la lutte pour Rosia Montana. Il se rend souvent dans le village pour donner des concerts, organiser des événements ou même aider à l'aménagement de circuits touristiques.
România mea, nu-i România lor, nu-i România celor de la televizor. În România mea nu se mănâncă la Mac, nu se frizează coca la 100 de jack. În România mea nu se dă vina pe dușman, nu se ascultă manele și nu se aruncă cu bani. România mea nu-i România extremistă, România xenofobă, România rasistă. România mea nu-i România lui Băsescu, Udrea, Bogvideanu, Tăricianu, Iliescu, Poda, Adonescu și Dan Diaconescu și toți aceia care au fost ca sub Ceaușescu. România mea nu-i România lor, a celor care văd în tine doar un decor, doar un vot, doar o mită, doar un număr de dosar, doar o șpagă îndesată mai adânc în buzunar. România asta s-o fac de vrei cadou, că și tu revoltat, dar refuz să fiu erou. Și dacă din toate astea ceva te-a atins, poate că trăim, poate că am învins.
That's a political song of ours. It's very old. It's since 2001, I think, and I always dedicated to Rosia Montana, and in the last couple of years also to the people who are fighting against shale gas extraction, against fracking. It's because I'm talking about politicians who are corrupt and who were just slaves for Ceausescu, and I'm talking about anti-nationalism and anti-racism, and I'm talking about the people who don't do anything to make their life better, and of a political class who is just trying to bribe you all the time and to get your vote and just to lie to you for another 4 years and stuff like that. So it's a lot about what's going on in Rosia Montana since 2000. There are a lot of bands who support Rosia Montana cause, also in Romania but also abroad. I mean, for example, this year at Filmfest we'll have Rebel Diaz from the United States and Babazula from Turkey. So there are people who are not only in Romania but also abroad who are against this project. Rosia Montana is a very long campaign until this year 2000, and in the beginning nobody believed that this would have a happy end, or at least it would resist for so long. Because people were distrustful and they thought that their voice doesn't matter and it's just a political game and normal people don't count and stuff like that. And we were stubborn and persistent, and in the end it was really nice to see in 2014 to see in the streets people with very different political opinions being together for Rosia Montana and being able to discuss politics like the politicians in Romania never did on television, you know, just normal people, some of them liberal, some of them socialists, some of them anarchists, some of them with no political opinion at all, for example, and everybody could talk about it and try to find solutions, and you know, this is a good sign that people are starting to talk to each other and to understand that their voice matters. There are still a lot of people who don't care and don't care about anything, just their square, you know. And also sometimes it's weird because there is also the reverse of the situation, the other side of a coin, because being so big, let's say, this campaign, and kind of successful because the project didn't start, there are a lot of people who think that we can solve anything. So whenever something goes wrong with other issues, social issues, there are a lot of people who are coming to us and saying, hey, you people of Rosia Montana, come on, why don't you protest for that and for that and for that and for that and for that? It's a never-ending story. And we always say that, you know, we started this campaign, we started to be good at it in the sense that we learn a lot from our mistakes, and we learn a lot from our experience, and you know, we believe in the power of example, and we think that if we save Rosia Montana, that will send a very strong message to everyone in the Romanian society. So if this fight is won, then nobody can say that the voice of the people doesn't matter, or it can be done.
La voix des gens compte. La mobilisation pour Rosia Montana l'a prouvé. Cette fois, ce sont les citoyens qui ont eu le dernier mot. Pour se rendre compte de cette dimension, nous décidons de pousser notre expédition jusqu'à Bucarest, la capitale, à l'extrême est du pays. 4 nouvelles heures à bord de Palincuska et nous voici dans les rues de la plus grande ville de Roumanie. Presque 2 millions d'habitants vivent ici. Si Cluj est le point de départ de la mobilisation pour Rosia Montana, Bucarest en est le bouquet final. 20 000 manifestants se sont tenus ici, sur cette place, la fameuse Piazza Universitatea.
C'est d'ailleurs ici que nous avons rendez-vous avec 2 d'entre eux, Claudia et Silviu. Un petit tour de trottinette et nous voilà devant le Parlement roumain, ou l'ancien palais présidentiel de Nicolae Ceausescu. Ce mastodonte représente plutôt bien la folie des grandeurs de l'ancien dirigeant communiste. Avec ses 350 000 mètres carrés, c'est le 2e plus grand bâtiment administratif au monde, juste après le Pentagone. Mais ce ne fut pas trop grand pour les manifestants. Le 21 septembre 2013, ils ont entouré entièrement le bâtiment en formant une chaîne humaine. Un acte symbolique pour faire pression sur les députés. Car l'Assemblée s'apprêtait ce soir-là à voter la loi qui aurait autorisé les expropriations à Rosia Montana. Résultat, la loi n'est pas passée.
The meeting point was this park, Izvor Park, which by the way is a former neighborhood. It was destroyed entirely by Ceausescu in order to make this area. And hundreds and thousands of people met here or in front of the parliament. It was difficult. It's very hard to have enough people to count, each part of the wall, because we have like 3 kilometers, I think, or 2 kilometers if you are surrounding the entire building. Yeah. So many people were organizing the others. How could I say? It's hard to say how it was because honestly, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of jokes, but at the same time it was very serious. Everything was very serious. It was a very electrical atmosphere. Yeah, a lot of bikers. Yeah, coming to help us. The bicycles were also in fight. The entire active population, not only young, also old, also kids, were involved in this project because it's very symbolic. We didn't do this human wall around parliament against politicians, but to protect the law against the corrupted politicians. So the symbol was the law is born here, should be protected, and we will protect it. I'm expecting that the laws will protect further my right to have a private property, not to be kicked out from my own house. Also, the laws should protect me from, destroying mountains or forests. The law should protect us, everyone, not a company.
La ronde autour du Parlement fut un symbole fort. Un épisode qui rappela les politiciens à leur devoir, celui de faire des lois dans l'intérêt de tous. C'est aussi la preuve que les Roumains savent toujours se soulever. En 1989, ils ont fait chuter Ceausescu et le régime communiste. Aujourd'hui, les enfants de cette révolution combattent leur classe politique corrompue.
For the first time, after 25 years since communism, the protests could correct with non-violent, the politicians' abuses and wrong decisions. But it's not like a profession, I'll fight like a citizen. This, in my dimension as citizen of Romania, I will ask and I'll pretend, I will demand, from the politicians to listen to me and the people like me that they are asking them, no, look, you are wrong, don't do this anymore. Stop it. They should stop in a moment, or they just try to learn to play another way. Come on, they are also people.
À présent, direction les bars de Bucarest. Car si on veut retracer la mobilisation jusqu'au bout, ces lieux sont également très importants. Les militants ont l'habitude de s'y retrouver. Autour d'une bière, ils discutent des manifs, de politique et sympathisent entre eux. L'automne roumain, finalement, c'est aussi ça, du lien social entre les gens et plein de nouvelles amitiés.
I wanted to tell about the volunteer groups. When we had the first meetings and I made a call on internet, on Facebook, if you want to get involved, you can, let's get together and talk about it. And the first thing I told them, and it's valid until now, you will not gain anything from from this, but it will change your life, like not instantly, but for the next years you will see it, because you'll make new connections, new friends, you'll get new knowledge on things, new perspective, and it's still valid. The core group of volunteers that answered that in the first weeks are still here and are still very, very active. It's wonderful.
For me, you asked about one experience, best experience. It was when we went to the quartiers, neighborhoods,
and speak French. It's okay.
when we spoke to the people and give them flyers. For me, it was an experience. Wow, because they told me I'm a little bit shy. I was thinking I cannot do this, but I did it, and it was wow. And speaking with people, by really speaking, but connecting with people, with random people on the streets was an experience for me. Wow.
I actually never missed a protest in all these months.
None of us, I think, never missed a protest.
People reacted to that. There were many on the streets on every Sunday, and when I'm saying the change of perspective is that until then we knew that we have to call people to the protests, but then we knew the people will be there, so we have to think what exactly we will have to do with them, what
how to canalize their energy, what to do with all that energy, right?
Not to lose the moment.
Exactly.
It was the challenge actually for us, and it was so funny that at one point it actually became like a weekly habit. Everybody knew that on Sunday we were protesting for Rosia Montana. It was amazing. It was like you're taking a shower each day. On Sunday you have to be on the streets for Rosia Montana.
Not only people in Romania united for this cause, but also Romanians outside the country. And protests started in Paris and also in Canada and I don't know where. Around 60 different cities in the world, which was wonderful.
It's the first time when the Romanian diaspora united
for one cause.
For one cause, yeah.
You asked me before that Rosia Montana is just a village in the mountains and it doesn't affect other people in the rest of Romania. Well, it's not that. It became a symbol. At some point, one of the volunteers said, "Well, I have an idea. After we save Rosia Montana, let's use this logo, the red and green flag, for anything that will unite us, any cause that we will have to fight for." And
United we save Romania.
Yeah.
If we win Rosia Montana, this is the first step. There are a lot of fucked up things in Romania, right?
The civil society in Romania is awake now, and we are also fighting for a lot of different issues, like for example now for the electoral law in Romania and some other important issues that we find along the way. And as Matei said, there are a lot of things to be fixed. So Rosia Montana is the top of the iceberg. This is how we call it.
This is just the beginning.
Once you open your eyes, you cannot close them anymore. Yeah.
The battle was won, not the war. No, the war, it's a long term, as you say. With the fracking and stuff, there are also issues that I think, I'm sure, in fact, will put people on the streets. But right now, I think what's important is that a new kind of social society, civil society, it's born already. I mean, we have not only a group of people, but a group of ideas and more know-how about how to do this. How to remind to our governors that we are not just numbers of votes in precise days in 4 years, but we are active, we are alive, and we are already careful about what they are promising when they win the elections.
Depuis l'épisode Rosia Montana, on dirait en effet que les Roumains se méfient davantage de leurs politiciens. Il n'y a qu'à voir les dernières élections présidentielles, en novembre 2014. 65% des électeurs sont allés voter au deuxième tour, un taux historique pour la Roumanie. La diaspora y est pour quelque chose. Devant les ambassades ce jour-là, une queue infinie de Roumains expatriés venus exercer leur droit de vote, pour certains au contraire de leurs habitudes. Et contre qui ? On s'en doute bien. Victor Ponta, alors Premier ministre en tête au premier tour, se fait littéralement devancer par son adversaire, Klaus Iohannis. Il faut dire que l'ancien Premier ministre est l'un des plus fidèles défenseurs du projet minier à Rosia Montana. Mais surtout, cet homme incarne la corruption en personne. On ne compte même plus les affaires dans lesquelles il est impliqué. Conflits d'intérêts, abus de pouvoir, blanchiment d'argent, évasion fiscale, la liste est relativement longue. En juin 2015, la Direction nationale anticorruption ouvre un procès à son encontre. 4 mois plus tard, suite à de nouvelles grandes manifestations à Bucarest, il est contraint de démissionner de son poste de Premier ministre. Cette situation est révélatrice. Les Roumains sont fatigués. Par la corruption de leurs politiciens, par ces multinationales qui ont tous les pouvoirs dans leur pays. Le combat pour Rosia Montana est aussi l'expression de ce ras-le-bol, de cette indignation plus globale.
Știm că nu ne luptăm pentru un copac sau pentru un salariu sau pentru nu știu ce, noi ne luptăm cu un sistem. Aici e problema. Încet, încet și comunitățile și oamenii simpli și oamenii liberi au curaj să se organizeze și să lupte împotriva corupției, a sistemului, a ceea ce nu-i bun pentru ei.
They are scared because if this generation, my generation if you will, chooses not to support them anymore, not to support the system anymore, they will have serious issues because young people are already disenfranchised. They don't believe in what's going on up in Bucharest anymore. They have serious doubts concerning the way they manage things. So yes, of course they're scared because as I have wrote to you, we haven't had one decent politician since 1947, man. It makes sense that sometime at some place people are gonna stand up and say, okay, I don't want to get robbed anymore. Let's get something changed in here.
There has been a lot of firsts, let's say, in this campaign. First occupation, first Occupy action, first lawsuits won in a court of law regarding an environmental issue. A lot of first time that the Romanian Academy is supporting a civil society movement, you know, first big protests since the 90s in Romania, you know, I mean, I never saw in my life 30,000 people on the streets. When I saw that in Bucharest, I was completely astonished. So yeah, I think it will never be the same, and it shows people that it can be done, it can be stopped. Mm-hmm. You know, these corporations and these corrupt politicians can be stopped.
La campagne pour Rosia Montana est porteuse d'espoir pour l'avenir de la Roumanie. Elle est certainement le point de départ pour de plus grandes prises de conscience politiques, écologiques, et le pays en a grand besoin. Car si Rosia Montana a été sauvée, d'autres endroits dans le pays sont dévastés par les multinationales, de mèche avec des politiciens corrompus. C'est par exemple en Roumanie que s'est déroulé le deuxième plus grand désastre écologique d'Europe de l'Est, après Tchernobyl. C'était en 2000. À Baia Mare, une petite ville au nord de Cluj. 100 000 mètres cubes de cyanure se sont échappés d'une mine d'or australienne. La fuite a alors ravagé l'écosystème du Danube sur des milliers de kilomètres, affectant également la Hongrie et les pays de l'ex-Yougoslavie. Ce genre de scénario peut encore se répéter. Les mines se multiplient, et la Roumanie est toujours faible face aux multinationales. L'État n'est pas toujours garant des droits des citoyens. L'accaparement des terres agricoles, par exemple, est un problème d'envergure dans le pays. 700 000 hectares ont été accaparés par des grands investisseurs privés, soit 8,5% du territoire agricole.
Avant de quitter la Roumanie, nous faisons une dernière halte à Cluj, dans les locaux d'Eco-Ruralis, qui luttent depuis 2009 contre l'accaparement des terres et pour le maintien de l'agriculture paysanne. Ramona est l'une des membres de l'équipe, et c'est aussi une militante aguerrie. Elle a développé au fil des années une analyse intéressante de la société civile roumaine. Et malgré tous les problèmes qui persistent dans ce pays, son bilan est assez optimiste.
I think it's a very good exercise for people to push the elected officials to take decisions for the interest of the public, because this is it makes you understand better how the world works, how how politics is actually important for the life of everyone, for the common good of the society you live in. It wakes you up. It makes you really aware, and absolutely, it involves you more. It makes you more responsible. I see a big difference between what civil society of Romania was 10 years ago or 14 years ago and now. I feel very optimistic about the future. I think I see a growth, and I see more, just more active, more actions, more. I think it's only good what's happening. But in the same time, we're still in a learning process. Sometimes people get impatient. Why aren't we already there? But I've seen big changes happening in time, and we are still in the beginning of having a healthy civil society. We are still learning from our mistakes. We still need to push harder, and in order to try to influence the decision-making process. That's always a challenge. The legislative process is something that is very imprevisible. It takes a long time until you fully understand it. It's not as easy. It's not enough to go to your elected official to tell him that you would like a vote for or against a certain measure. You have to really study the process, make sure you're a step ahead the bad guys, and anticipate what they could do so that you can defend the cause you care for.
Units salvum Rosia Montana. On ne va pas oublier ce slogan de sitôt. Il a été scandé par tellement de gens autour de nous qu'il résonne encore dans nos têtes. Il est simple, mais il est écrié à l'infini. Comme si la détermination des Roumains était aussi infinie à ce moment-là. Et cette cause gagnée donne de l'espoir. L'espoir qu'un jour en Roumanie, mais aussi dans le monde entier, on puisse tous avoir notre mot à dire. Qu'on puisse dire oui ou non à une décision politique, oui ou non à tel projet industriel. Bien sûr, c'est une utopie, mais à certains moments, elle paraît tout de même moins lointaine.
Vers la Vénérée.
Nous quittons la Roumanie à contre-cœur. On resterait bien un peu plus longtemps au pied des Carpates à boire de la palinka en refaisant le monde avec tous ses militants. Mais la route nous appelle. D'autres zones à défendre nous attendent. Cap vers l'ouest. La revedere, Rosia Montana.